Well, I managed to get that old hinge off, get the new one in, and saw where my piece of metal got stuck in there. Anyway, got this hinge on, and I've got it moving pretty good, but the latch won't it won't catch on the far latch. These bolts here, I went over that before, they were kind of the wrong angle, so I can't really fix these without cutting these things so it'll slide that way. So what I am going to do, I don't know whether I'm going to grind it off this back corner here, or try to weld it. Right there is where it's at, and it won't latch all the way. I need to have it about that much. And if I grind it, I can get a bolt in it, but the bolts don't line up. I think in the interest of speed, I'd better just weld it. Well, I welded it up, and door closes real good, solid, and opens up. Got the first notch, and second notch is nice and tight. I've got a pretty decent gap all the way around here. This door is not as tight as the other one, but it's in and it works. So I'll try to clean up these welds a little bit, but I didn't want to really put a super weld job in there. It's good enough. Well, I decided to try to get this torque converter in here and kind of finalize all the stuff. I managed to get the bolts out of the cross member. They come out pretty easy, and I've got it jacked up there in the front with a board under the pan, so it won't come down too much. And I'm just going to see how much I got. I'm probably going to have to pull this floorboard out, but at least I'll be able to tell how far it's going to come down. You can see here I got this truck jacked up quite a bit to just get under it. I've got a couple bolts on each side of the firewall there. I can get two. Might be a couple in the top. Probably is. But right now we're just gonna see what's going on. Let's see if we can let this down slow. Well, how about that? It didn't go down. looks like it's not really hitting my board up there yet. Don't know for sure what I'm hitting. Look like this mortar mount come out a little. Not sure what's the deal here, but that's definitely hitting something and not the pan. I'll get up in there and pound on this cross member, see if I can figure out what's holding it. Well, I got it out. It looks like it was just in kind of crooked, binding. The other side over there is still kind of stuck. Yeah, they didn't do a real good job of putting that in, so I'm probably going to have to jack this transmission up by the pan and try to take that cross member out. I was kind of hoping I could leave it in and use it to manipulate everything, but don't think that's going to work. It's not falling out real good, and I'm letting it down. It is catching here on the pan. I don't know how hard it's going to be to this jack will make it or not. Yeah, kind of hitting the tailpiece. Yeah, that's pretty stiff. So get me a board to get this on the pan and see what else I can get. Well, I got my floorboards pulled out, got my shifter off and my emergency brake. Looks like I can get to my bell housing bolts. There's a couple there on top, 2 on each side. I need to pull this back probably at least 6 inches. I have to take the rest of this cross member off of here. I think I can clear back here. And I don't know if I'm going to hit the firewall there. Don't know. I think once I can get the transmission back a little, it'll drop down. I may have to play around with lowering that motor some more. But this is a pretty big job by myself. Actually, it's not too big a deal, but I'm still kind of sick. It's out here in the heat, so I'll just have to try to loosen up everything and move it a little at a time, and hopefully everything will balance and I won't have to tie anything in. Well, I'll go ahead and finish pulling that cross member out of there and see what I got. Well, I got it out. It was easy enough. I tried to be careful with it, but I didn't really have it. I don't have a transmission jack, so it just fell out. But I can get my torque converter in it real easy now. I should have unhooked my transmission kick down, so it's pretty tight in there. So basically now I'm going to have to lubricate that up real good, get the torque converter in it, and then see if I can use straps or something to kind of hold this up till I get a jack under it, and then jack it back up into that motor there. Looks like the freeze plugs might have a little evidence of leaking, but nothing that stop leak wouldn't fix. And I will have plenty of room here to get this torque converter on. This has been kind of a nightmare. I got it up in there. I used ratchet straps and a jack. That was fairly straightforward. I got some long bolts in it, but I just didn't have enough room for my pressure plate. And I measured it. There was like a 1/16 of an inch between the edge of the torque converter bolts and the edge of the flywheel. I'd looked at another video and assumed that was good. I never paid really much attention, but I got about 1 inch between the flywheel and the bell housing. I tried moving that torque converter around, couldn't get it anywhere. So what I did do is I just took 2 more ratchet straps on it and dropped it down. I lost some oil. I don't really care about that. But the torque converter now is about 1 inch below the surface, the mounting surface. So it went in right, and I slid it around when I had it up there before, and it's fitting the crankshaft all right. So now at this point I just have to jack it carefully back up until I can get some long bolts started, and hopefully not bang it around and cause that torque converter to come forward any. I think I'll be alright here. Just have to jack it slow and take my time, and hopefully I can get this transmission in today. At least I know it's all right now, and it's just a matter of putting it back up in there. Took a little doing, but I finally got it up there, put some long studs in it, and transmission slid right up. I just checked the torque converter, it's turning freely. I turned the flywheel over with the starter. Nothing's hitting. So Mr. Transmission basically is back in along with the torque converter. I got to put my torque converter bolts in it. I got a brand new set here somewhere. but this was a little bit of a challenge, but I did get it done. Now just have to put my mounts and stuff back in, clean up the drive line, put it in. It was rusted where it went into the end of the transmission shaft here, so I'll get that all polished up so I don't mess up that seal. Hopefully it won't leak. Get my torque converter bolts in, and now of course, since the transmission is going to be turning and pumping, I'm going to have to put some lines in it. I've got some lines here for an oil cooler. I don't know if these are going to be the right size or what. They look alright. By alright, I mean the right size. And got another line over there, hard line. So we'll see what I can get mounted up for this. But in the meantime, I'll go ahead and clean up my drive line and get this all mounted again, and probably clean up any welds or anything that needs to be there. These both look pretty good here. Same thing here. I think I'll be alright as far as the mount goes. So that was a little bit of a task. Again, mostly it was hard because I don't have any transmission jack. And had a little trouble getting that torque converter in all the way into the transmission because it was kind of laying on the ground. Once I tilted it up more vertically, then it was pretty easy to get it to drop down in there where it was supposed to go. So it's all good now. Just a matter of putting it all back together. Well, there's Mr. Driveline bolted up. First time ever. And turning good. Plenty of slack in my in play in my transmission there. I guess I'll try to put the rest of my bell housing bolts in and then do my cross member. It's back down on the cross member. The cross member itself is okay, kind of loose for my taste. But it did go in. I think the problem is that those two bolts that go up into the transmission mount, they're really not going to line up, and those are 1/2-inch bolts. These others are like 7/16, but it takes a pretty good sized bolt, and I couldn't get the cross member in with one of the bolts started. So I think I'm probably going to have to take it out again, crawl up into there and look. tell from here, but I don't think they're lining up right. Try and do this one-handed and wide. Yeah, see, this one's kind of lining up, but not that one. So I think those bolt holes got to be elongated quite a bit. I'm not sure exactly what's happening. You know, one of them looks pretty good, but looks like my might have to cut my floorboard a little bit more right here to clear the drive line. It shouldn't be too hard to do. I knew it was pretty close. It's going to be easy enough to do from underneath. U-joint's awfully close. The angles don't look bad. This, of course, I've got it jacked up quite a bit. This looks like about 10 or 15 degree angle, and probably about the same back there. I think my geometry will be good enough. I just have to make that mount good. Once I do that, then I can go ahead and clean up a little bit more of the whatever it's going to hit. But it's in finally, and I'll probably just take all that. Probably just drop that down. Take that angle iron off of there. I don't know how hard that'll be. Shouldn't be too bad. Have to cut it off. And don't look like it's really centered in the mount either. I'll clean that stuff up. Make sure that my transmission's in the middle of the frame, left to right. I don't know if I can move it or not. I really don't have a pry bar here to try. Yeah, I got arm here. Let's see if this will move. Yeah, it'll move a little. Anyway, so I'll get it centered, refabricate that mount. I'll just jack it up, take the mount off, make a bracket, set it down on there, and get it straight, and then tack weld it. Then drop the cross member out, weld it up real good, put it back. That's straightforward. Main thing, I got the torque converter in, and drive line in. Basically, I'm a radiator, some cooler lines, and some fluid away from driving it. So feel a little better today, but I think I had enough. I'll try it again tomorrow. I started working on this cross member. I just cut that piece out of the middle. This one's about an inch bigger. I tried cutting this loose. I didn't have much luck. So what I'm going to do is just weld this together, and I'll roughly mark it where I got my holes, drill my holes, and this will be better because I can put bolts straight up into this and I don't have to worry about how close it is to the edge or anything. So I'll clean this up, get it up in there, see what it looks like. And there's my cross member end. I cut a piece of angle iron. Not really welded all that great, but it is welded in all the way around. I didn't bother to take it out. Once I bolted it up, I just welded it. And I may eventually take it out, clean up those welds a little. They do look kind of bad from here. Couldn't see very well, but at least I've got it to the point where it's in and in the middle. I haven't checked it completely once I've let it down. That's what I'll do now, is let it down. I measured it side to side from where the body is. We got 16.5 on that side, 16.25 on this side. When I let the jack down, it didn't move hardly at all. So I'm sure that my cross member's in good, solid enough. That's a 3x2 angle iron there. So I think that's good enough. I will probably take it out again and clean up some stuff and paint it. But for now, that's good enough. I'm sure it'll run and drive. And this time I remembered to put my battery cable and fuel line over the top of the cross member. So I think we're good to go right now. I'm gonna go ahead and let it down. The wife come out and put some more rust converter on the body. That helped a lot. This door kind of turned out to be kind of silver green. Rust converter kind of stopped it, made it look a lot better. I think she did that one over there too. Still haven't done the dash. But anyway, at this point I can kind of let it down. She did part of this cowl. It's just one coat, but it helped a lot. Saved me from doing it. I've got my wires hooked up good here for the starter and the neutral switch. I glued a little mini toggle on here for and you can't really hear it click, but it's working. I've got don't have a neutral lockout, but I got a park lockout. So the only place it'll start's in park. That's good enough for me. Just ain't gonna run myself over. There was a guy that run himself over there by the gate. Had that very thing, started a car standing in front of it, and run him over and squished him. And I've ran into a wall a couple times and run over my foot once. So it don't take very much, and you start appreciating a park lockout.